KARTEL. Them finna see the turf president and the resident. Representing Magash International, them finna see so the same thing go. Straight up, the Swiss killing machine some boy finna. Watching a tenor rock, big up yourself, watching up. Oh okay, Bassa Cap, them finna see so the same thing set up. One boy, them can't go around.
Alright, Brite Lite Promotions, C-Rock, Madden, we back. Magash, Swiss killing machine once again. Tonight, usually we speak to the face of the sound on the US side, which is Alex Basakat. But tonight we got another MC in the house, another selector in the house I should say, who is Tenor Rock, straight out of Switzerland. So introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, Tenor.
So I'm Tenor Rock. I'm a part of Magash from 10 years old now. I'm a selector and play the sound in Europe like weekly, most of the dates. And me and Alex build the box most of it.
All of it, man. See it. All of it, you know. Me and him build the box, man.
Okay.
Tenor Rock this, man.
Okay, with that being said, Tenor Rock being a selector in Switzerland right now, how do you feel Magash is doing on the European side, and what do you think looking forward coming to 2016, what Magash is going to be doing to up your profile in Europe?
Man, honestly, we're doing good in Europe right now. We have a lot of juggling dates all over Europe, and I guess in 2016 we're gonna have more. I'm not gonna speak about clash dates because right now the clash scene is kinda, yeah, it's kinda dead. It's not dead, but it's moving slow in Europe. So I don't know about clash, but definitely when it comes to juggling, we run Europe.
Okay. Definitely, once again, I would say that Magash profile on the Western Hemisphere is definitely big right now. The Caribbean, you're definitely doing real good. Recently, you took the War Climate Clash in Jamaica. I know that was your first clash in Jamaica, Alex. So tell us a little bit about what was, even though you played in Jamaica before, how do you feel about the reception for your first clash in Jamaica?
Honestly, we were all very excited about it because we juggle twice a year in Jamaica. One of them is really a hardcore juggling in Clarendon, so we've had not really clashes, but like morning tune for tune, sometimes 2-hour longs, but never a real straight out war from the first round with a host and like a real war sound clash. So we were all very excited, and I mean the vibes was just wicked, man. From the first round, great dance. Great dance.
I want to big up the other selectors on the sound. Fire Dog.
Big up Fire, straight, man. Silent Killer.
Do
anywhere.
Alright, so now in the clash in Jamaica was you and Fire Dog.
That's right.
Correct?
10 hours there too still.
Okay.
He was in Jamaica from the week before the dance doing most of the studio works, and me and Fire just flew in essentially the day before the dance. So
okay. And touching back on that dance, that was Black Cat, Innocent, and
was Panther.
Yeah, Panther, sorry. Panther.
If that makes a difference. Yeah,
Panther, King Ghetto, Innocent. You know, you took the dance, and usually being the only European sound on the dance, people tend to say you would have an advantage, but from the audio and the videos, it seems musically Magash was accepted. Tell us, for your first clash in Jamaica musically, what do you think made the difference that night for you? Apart from the speeches, that was good as well.
I mean, musically, I think we played a style that maybe Jamaica is not used to so much. I guess people, I mean, we still, even though we cut different from a lot of sounds in Europe, we still have a little bit of that European flavor. And I guess that most people in Jamaica are not really used to it because most of them not really check all of the audio them. Like, I guess more people in the US would go on the internet and listen some audios from some of the European sounds. So they would be a little bit more used to the European flavor. So I think we came with just juggling on different rhythms and rewritten punchlines. And that plus the speeches that connected with the tunes was just a killer, you know.
Okay, and Tenor Rock, being that you play such a big part in the actual voicing of the dub plates and stuff like that, what are some of your influences, or who are some of your influences that inspired you to cut the way Magash cut tunes?
Honestly, I don't think I really have inspiration. I think we worked hard for 10 years to find the way we love to cut dubs, and actually we are our main inspiration. That's how I see it.
Would you say that Magash plays more European style or more US based style as a sound?
I would say that Magash play Magash style.
Okay, okay. So now, in Europe, there's a lot of upcoming sounds, and I would say, being based in New York, a lot of the newer European sounds is playing more of a style that's accepted in New York. You have the Sentinels, you have the Supersonics, now you have the Jugglers. Who are some of these sounds that you would say you look at that you are ready to clash in Europe right now and prove?
Any song which is ready for we're ready for them, man.
Okay. So
we don't pick and choose, man. And you know that long time already, we don't pick and choose. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the promoters. There's only very few active promoters that promotes big wars. You know, there's a few like the Warriors in the Arena, the BADA Clash, the War in the East, and that's about it when you talk about the big clashes. So, at the end of the day, it's up to the promoters, but you know, we don't turn down clash dates.
What do you think of the War in the East 2015?
Remind me. Oh, that was the
Jugglers and Black Chiney.
I mean, I think it was something different. So, you know, I have to like acknowledge the try to do something different and bring maybe a different kind of flavor, maybe more kind of a like mainstream, a little bit more of a jiggy clash. It probably worked in terms of drawing a crowd. Now, in terms of the clash itself, I found that the clash was good, but it was too long. Essentially, if it's like Jugglers is a new sound, they don't have a deep dub box, and Black Chiney is kind of more of a remix sound, a fully loaded sound. So you know they're going to play 2 fire rounds, but after that they kind of lack, you know, deepness in the box. So I think to have a big clash like that, a one-on-one with 5 rounds or 4 rounds was probably too long for what the sounds could handle to keep it on an entertaining level from beginning to end. That's my personal opinion. But big up the promoters, them still.
Yeah, big up Sultan. We're just discussing what we think about the lineup.
I told him already, you know me and Sultan.
Okay, so based in past years, just one last question about the lineup. Based in past years, where it was a more hardcore lineup to this year, were you satisfied with the lineup for this year as War in the East being one of the major hardcore clashes in Europe?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not a yes man, and I never will be. And this is the first thing you can, you know, go ask Sultan. This is the first thing I told him when I saw the date. I told him that I was disappointed because to me, War in the East was probably, you know, was the biggest hardcore clash in Europe. And
Sultan,
to me, Jugglers, yes, Sultan from
Sultan, let's get Magash on 2016 War in the East. All right, it's a wrap for War in the East. Speaking of major clashes in Europe, a big one coming up in September is BADA Clash, where Magash is from Europe. Switzerland, pardon me. What do you think about the lineup for this year, Addies versus Supersonic?
I think it's great. I think it's a great clash. It's a great lineup. I mean, we all know the history between Supersonic and Addies, and let's put it this way: they clashed once, even if it wasn't on one-on-one. They clashed once or twice in New York. 3 times actually. Three times. Twice in New York, once in Antigua. That's what I'm gonna say. Twice in New York, once in Antigua, but they're still missing to do a clash
in Europe.
So I think it makes sense. It's something that people have been waiting for. I know that the 2 sounds are going to go very hard and both try to get the win. So, no, I think it's a good clash. Big up Rafa Washington and the whole family. I'm not going to press you out for predictions on that one. Let's move forward. Magash. You never know who might walk in anyway.
Magash business tomorrow night, Albany Manor, World War. Alex, you've clashed in New York before. You're getting used to New York. You clashed in Queens. You clashed in Brooklyn, a tag team clash. Big up Andrew Digital. Tomorrow night, one-on-one, Soul Supreme. What's your thoughts on going into Albany Manor again, this time in a one-on-one?
Well, I'm looking forward because the tag team clash was nice and it was something different and interesting. I guess it got spoiled a little bit because of the way things went for Rhythm Force. It would have been more interesting to see the full team of Rhythm Force and Camouflage. But anyway, I think the dance was really interesting, but it's just a completely different concept from a real 1vs1. So
big up to Warrior too. How was
big
it?
up Matthias straight.
How was it actually playing with a selector that you don't normally play with, but you have to team up with that selector? And what I noticed that night was Rhythm Force and Camouflage both used different controllers. They played separately. Magash and Warrior played as one on one laptop.
That's how we tried to build the clash still. Because, all right, let me put this out there. I mean, me and Mattia never really used to link like that before the clash. Some people could even say there was a little rivalry or whatever. But when we decided to take the booking, we were like, all right, if we're doing this, we have to do this 100% and just build the clash together. It's one team, we have to do it one way and not the two of us trying to do our thing or whatever. So we just decided to build it that way and try to develop some kind of chemistry. And I think we did all right. It was clearly, when I think about stuff that happened, some of the stuff didn't work like it was supposed to. I'm sure that I didn't mix the songs, all of them like he wanted, and he didn't mix all the songs like I wanted, but I think overall we did all right still.
Okay. Moving on, another Andrew Digital promotion, World War against Soul Supreme. You've seen, you're based in the U.S., so I know you've seen clips of Soul Supreme clashing and probably heard audio of Soul Supreme clashing. You told me in the past that you don't study sounds, so you may not have listened to them. But what do you think of Soul Supreme since they re-emerged on the scene as a sound system?
No, so I mean, I don't study them in particular, but I do listen to a lot of audios that come out because I'm interested in hearing what's up around the world. So I have listened to some audios of Soul Supreme, and I think they're interesting. I think what they're doing is interesting. They're cutting a lot of new tunes, which I appreciate because I think that, you know, Clash cannot be stagnant and just playing the same songs over and over again. I think they've developed a little chemistry between Jakes and Little Shaba, so I think them are going with that thing still, you know. So
being a gully sound, what do you think about, or what is your thoughts on Soul Supreme playing Cartel?
Oh, okay.
Have you heard the Cartel?
I thought you were gonna ask about their mobile. Yeah, I heard their Cartels.
As a sound man in the business,
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I don't have any jail cartels. You're not gonna hear any tomorrow night.
Do you think it's really Cartel?
To me, from my musical ear, I think so. I also think it makes sense because the amount of songs, I mean, the people that try to tell us that he recorded all of this before, I think it just doesn't make sense. I think it's clear that some songs that came out after he went to jail were recorded before. Some of them, that's for sure. But now the amount of songs, it's just not possible.
Okay, you're speaking on the 45s, and I believe it's common knowledge.
That's the first step. Is he recording at all, right? He is.
It's common knowledge that he's doing 45s.
Then
now,
he's
as
doing
far as the
doublets.
dub plate argument now, Addies is playing Jail Cartel, Soul Supreme. There's a sound from Trinidad by the name of Judah.
They were the first, I believe, to put it out.
Jugglers play.
I don't know. Mattia had one.
Warrior play. Yeah. So now you have, it's maybe a handful of sounds playing Cartel. Have you? It's common knowledge that people believe European sounds get the first links to certain artists and stuff like that. Have you been linked for a Cartel?
We had the linking. We could have made it happen, but we decided not to.
Okay. Now, moving back onto Soul Supreme, let's move away from the Cartels. What do you think, as Soul Supreme as a sound, is their strengths coming into this clash?
I think their strength is that they can play everything. So if they need to go play a 100% Biltmore round, they can go find it and they have it. If they need to play a new tune round, they have it. So they can touch everything. and that's one of their strengths, I think. And their other strength is they do have a chemistry between MC and Selector.
Since you said you listen audios
from the Young Hawk one that I heard, yeah.
Okay, you heard the Young Hawk.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would have won off that dance against Young Hawk?
I mean, to me, they lost that dance by the fact that they walked out.
Okay.
If you leave the dance before the dance is done, you can't win the dance. You lose it. You forfeit the dance. That's my personal opinion.
Okay, now, Soul Supreme as a sound, since they reemerged on the scene, have had a lot of controversial endings to their dances. What do you think about that moving into tomorrow night? Do you feel like Soul Supreme has to finish the dance? Do you feel like you have to make sure that you lock Soul Supreme off in order to walk out of the dance to avoid another controversial ending?
Not really. I mean, they can just do what they want to do. But if they decide to walk out, I'm going to make it very clear to everybody that that is fuckery and that's not how you clash. You fight till the end. If you lose, you lose. So, that being said, they can decide to do whatever they want.
Okay, so big up Andrew Digital Promotions. We're going to revisit this dance, the World War dance between Magash and Soul Supreme again. Moving forward for the summer, I know Magash usually do a lot of stuff in Europe. Is it something the fans can look forward to?
Yeah, there's our anniversary dance festival thing that's going to be coming up. Basically the last weekend of July, first weekend of August. So watch out for that. We're working on the lineup. Everything should be released soon. Yeah. If you have any more information, go ahead. But I think everything is going to come out soon. 10 years anniversary, so. Okay,
and Tenor Rock, you mentioned earlier, Magash is juggling week to week in Europe. Tell us about that, where people can look forward to hearing audio. I know you got the Magash radio thing going on. Where can people find that to follow Magash sound system?
So the Magash radio is going on, but there is no live shows again. It's 1 year we put it on pause. It's just the old shows where you can listen to. And then we have our regular dance at Mat Club in Geneva, which is basically not every week, but more than once a month. That's if you're a regular dances. Then we play in Germany. We have a lot of dates in Europe too.
Okay, so what's the website, the Facebook information, Twitter, Instagram that people could follow on Magash Sound?
So the website is www.magashcrew.com. Facebook is Magash Crew. And then
Magash International, I think. No.
Yeah, but if you want to find it when you type the name, it's Magash Crew.
Just Magash Crew, the PH.
And then everything is Magash Intl when it comes to Instagram, Twitter, everything.
Okay, once again, Tenor Rock, Basakat, good looking out, Magash, Brite Lite Promotions, C-Rock, Madden, tomorrow night, World War, to be continued.
To be continued. Respect.
Magash son!
Brite Lite Promotions, C-Rock, Madden, back again with Magash to finish up this interview. 2 weeks ago, you faced Soul Supreme in New York. Let's touch on that dance and basically tell the people what you thought about performing in New York. That was your actual fourth clash in New York, third in the last 2 years.
In the last year, actually, yeah.
How was the performance? How do you feel about the performance? Even though you wasn't able to take home the trophy, how do you feel about the performance?
I feel great, man. I feel great. I think we did a good job. This was my first time clashing with Tenor Rock. It was his first clash ever, and I think he did a great job. The chemistry was there. We were on point. We were leading, you know, the first half, even more than that. You know, the first 3 rounds. So, none but good things for Seaman.
Okay, just to touch on it, and for who wasn't at the clash or who haven't heard the audio, it was 5 rounds in total. The first round was a no voting round, an introduction round. Then you had two rounds that Magash took. Then Soul Supreme took the other 2 rounds. How do you feel about the intro round and the fact that it was a non-voting round? How do you feel? Do you feel like you performed in that round to take that round and add it to your win total?
So it wasn't. I was actually the person to insist on having a non-voting round in the intro round, simply because it would have not have been fair for the first sound to play, in this case Soul Supreme. Because when Soul Supreme started playing, essentially the crowd was walking in throughout that intro round. So when Soul Supreme started, the dance was empty more or less, you know. And it got full by the time we finished the round. So it's hard to say who should win that round. They played a very good intro round too, that they started rinsing some Movado at the end and got some very good forwards. We played a solid round even though we had a big technical problem. Essentially the right side was not playing, so tenor had to, you know, basically press the cue button and keep it pressed during the entire song. You couldn't really mix, but we still got big forwards in the intro round, so yeah.
Okay, now coming into the clash, you know Soul Supreme have a style that in the intro round they like to speed mix. They burn out a lot of tunes. Did you feel like they did that to you in the first round? Did you feel like they burnt out a lot of Magash tunes in that intro round?
Yes and no. I was expecting them to do it a lot more. They actually played a very good intro round in my opinion. Big them up still. They took their time, played some good quality songs, and they didn't burn our box. So the first 20 minutes of the round, they just played some good song. And the yes part is yes because they played like 20 movados in the last 5 minutes. And those were clearly trying to, you know, cut down what we have. So, but apart from those movados, I wouldn't say they tried to, you know, get rid of our songs.
Okay, it's common knowledge that Jakes is one of the top MCs selectors in New York. How did you feel going up against Jakes on the stage, matching him speech for speech, tune for tune?
Yo, it was great. Big up, big up Jakes. The man have jokes, yo. The man have jokes, but I made my speeches in the dance too, and I think the people reacted to it. So I think the people were happy to see also that there was, you know, a MC battle going on, speech for speech, like I said. So it was great. I think he went super hard at the beginning and made some wicked jokes about chicken foot, wing and tie and all of that. And then he kind of overdid it a little bit. So throughout the middle part of the dance, he wasn't as sharp. And then he came back wicked at the end too. So yeah, man, big him up. Big up Jakes.
And in the aftermath of the clash, social media was really talking about your performance, especially speech-wise. How do you feel matching up against an authentic Jamaican MC and coming out on top as far as building your speeches, connecting with the crowd?
Yeah, I think I was on point that night. Just the speeches were coming. I was getting good reactions from them. So, yeah, I was.
Okay. Now, one of the rounds that you did not win was the fourth round.
Yeah.
Magash is known for. You didn't bust the Jerusalem rhythm, but you're known for that rhythm. Last year, you built back the roots and culture rhythm. You started building and juggling on it. There was a new rhythm that you played in the dance. Tell the people about that rhythm, what made you choose to voice on that rhythm, and some of the songs that you have built on that rhythm now.
Good. So that rhythm is called Across the Border. It's a song from Freddie originally. And it's a rhythm that I heard somewhere a long time ago. And I was kind of looking for it, but didn't remember it. And it's my brethren, a young Swiss sound called Biomassa, have a bright future still, so look out for them.
What's the name of the sound?
Biomassa sound from Switzerland, from the Italian part. I have to big them up straight. And they gave me the rhythm not too long ago, and we started voicing on it. And yeah, we played it in the dance in the fourth round. At that time, this was in the fourth round, so it was kind of sticky for us at that point, so we never got big forwards for it. But I think the people still, you know, open up their ear and just listen to what we were doing still.
Okay. Did you feel like Soul Supreme tried to attack Magash with Movados that night? Apart from the intro round, throughout the rest of the night, do you feel like they actually tried to challenge Magash with Movado?
Yeah, they tried and failed. No, they played 20 Movado in the intro round, and then maybe 10 more in the first round, and then that was it. Like they ran out or something. I don't know, but they only had like After that, for the rest of the dance, they played like 2 more, that's it. And essentially in the 3rd round, when I played the Movado, I would say them start a war where them can't handle, I got a big forward using that precise argument. Because after the first 2 rounds, they weren't playing Movado no more.
Okay, now, the clash is over. You obviously didn't win the clash, but the feedback was good. What's next for Magash? I know you're heading back to Switzerland. You got the summertime juggling that you do. Tell the people about it once again.
So it's all about our 10-year anniversary, going down July 31st. I'm gonna wait for the, you know, my team down there taking care of the promotion part and everything. They're about to drop the lineup, so I don't really want to say nothing right now, but watch out for that. And I can also tell the fans that people have been asking us to do a dubplate mix for a very long time, and we do not, up to today, we don't have an official dubplate mix. And I can promise everybody a dubplate mix by the time of the birthday, so watch out for that. July it I go drop. Promise the fans them Magash official dubplate mix.
Where can they go to find that mix once it's dropped?
That will be available on magashcrew.com and on Magash, facebook.com/Magash International, and the link on Instagram, Twitter, and everything. So you will find it. We'll make it available.
Okay, we're not gonna do the challenges. We're not gonna challenge anybody. We was out here on the West Coast. We took on the clash last night with Addie's Broken Silence and Innocent. Addie's was the winner. What do you think about that clash? And can we look forward to Magash Addie's somewhere in the future?
I hope so. Big up King Addie's. I hope so. We'll be happy to clash and beat them anytime. So promoters, make it happen. And the clash was great. Big up Addie's on their victory. Big up Broken Silence. You won my respect last night. You with your bud. Big up Neely and Juxie from Innocent. Wicked performance too. I had a great time last night, you know. Just entertainment and fun. It was a great clash. Big up the promoter, LA Rumble. I believe this was the 10th edition. It's a good look. Keep it going. West Coast, yes.
Magash Sound, Brite Lite Promotion, C-Rock, Madden, signing out. Thanks a lot.
Brite Lite, big up. Madden, C-Rock, the whole team. Keep it going. Music, we say.